Hi there and welcome back to Eleanor's Restoration. It's been a wee while since my last video. Not got a great deal done, to be honest, other than I've managed to get this Heelboard back in place. The last video I told you I was going to drill holes through here to attach it to here, but again, it said to you at the time it's quite hard with the welding sparks coming down, so what I decided to do was actually go from above. So this is just the sound deadening that was used when the Mini was built. So what I've done is I chiselled away that, drilled holes about 2.5 inches apart along here, and plug welded them from above. It was a lot easier to work with, and it gives the same result. The seat goes on top of this, so it's not going to make any difference to what it looks like here. But like I said before, because I like to do things, even the hidden things, right, I've put filler on here. This is very rough. This was done probably about 3-4 weeks ago when I done the last video, so this still needs filled, still needs sprayed. Then the centre section, as you can see here, it was seam welded. Unfortunately, halfway through, my MIG wire ran out on me, so I've had to stop then and order some more. When I was drilling the spot welds, I decided that I was going to make some bolts that come in from top. As you can see, I've done 3, so I have one that's went through here, one that's went through here, and one that's went through here. These just pulled it all close together and gave a closer fit. It was just left in there, and like I say, the rest have been plug welded along there. What I need to do next is, like I say, I'm going to weld this up a bit better, grind it down, polish that up a bit better. I've then got some brushable seam sealer, which was went on the car. If I can take you to sort of an older bit. Anyway, there's an overlapping joint on the old Mini. This was pushed on just to seal it in place. It was brushed on. It's just a sealer, so I've managed to get some more of this, which I'm going to be covering all the joints in with. Not too bad, it's about £10 a tin. Like I say, it's brushable, keep the rust out. Once that's been done, it'll be completely sealed. Underneath here I have got acid etch primer in, which is going to stop the rust from outside coming out. So that's the stage I'm going to work on today to try and get that done. I've still got all the stuff from the floor to do from last time. What I have managed to do since I last spoke to you is I've managed to buy a spot welder, which is going to make life a lot easier on the Mini, as most of it was spot welded. So the stage I'm going to work on just now is dressing up this, filling this with seam filler, sanding off this, getting a better smooth finish and painting it, and then I'll come back to you and show you the difference from then. Right, so I managed to finish off the seam welding there. As you can see, I've given it a quick, probably a bit without it, I've given it some filler just to make it smooth. I'll sand that down once that's dried. So because there's always going to be a slight gap when things are plug welded or spot welded on the Mini, I'm going to put some of this seam seal that I showed you on, just covered up here. It's just brushable, so it's fairly straightforward. With most of the other joints I've also got sealer that goes in between the flanges. Put that on and it gives it extra properties to keep the water out, and it also bonds the metal together, so any extra strength can only be a good thing. But this is just brushable stuff. Don't be scared to apply it, because it does go hard and you want it to be covered up. So make sure that there's no gaps in this at all, and just go all the way along with that to make sure it's sealed up properly. So that's me brushed the rest of that stuff on. It's quite thick, sticky stuff to go on. It's under the seat here, so I'm not too bothered about how it looks. I'm more concerned about how it's watertight. As you can see, there's no any holes in it there. What I would say, if you're using this stuff, make sure it's a well ventilated area, or you've got something to cover you. It's quite a strong smelling substance. So that's just getting left to dry. Once it's dried, it can be sprayed over with primer and then paint, and then that's it, fully watertight. I will at some point, once the subframe's off and I've got the frame rotated or upside down, try and seal it a bit better from the outside. That's obviously the inside. I don't want any moisture getting in from the outside underneath here, but I can look at that at the time. So like I was saying, next stage, just get this sanded down, so it's a bit smoother. Basically for anything inside that I'm covering that's not going to need acid etch primer on. It still gives protection against rust, but there's not going to be any moisture on this bit here. And it's just to keep it all consistent once it's been painted. So like I say, just a quick coat of primer at the moment. That's all going to be tidied up later on. I've also got the other side that I'll need to look at for the heel board. This is all sound dead and stuff. I'll look at it and going to replace that with at a later point. So I'm not concerned about how it looks too much. The underside, I've given that a quick smooth out just now. It's obviously got a lot to go. I need to let it dry a bit before more, and I'll do it with some 800 wet and dry paper just to get it looking seamless. This I just need to let dry for quite a while. I'll ground off the paint on this because I'm going to put acid etch primer on to make it more conductive when it's welding. So I've done that along this is the back section here. As you can see, I've drilled some of the holes here a bit bigger, and then I've done some with the punch. That'll go into the rear heel board, the new one there. This goes onto the toe board here. You can't reach these holes here with the punch, so these have all been drilled in. The centre bit here, my initial plan was to again drill holes and plug fill these, but because I've got the spot welder now, that's going to be used to that. So all acid etch primer up. As you can see, it protects all the hidden surfaces from rust, and that's all the way around. Once it's on, I'll coat the whole panel in primer just so it all matches, and then we can finally get this floor in. So hopefully this will be the last shot you see here with this floor out. Once it goes back in, it's going to be permanent. I've got the floor tacked in place. I've used just some clamps along here. This one's going to get spot welded all the way along. I've used a trolley jack and a bit of wood to jam this in place. It was a bit fiddly getting all the flanges lined up with this and underneath. There's still a bit of work to do at the back here, but because it's got a flange underneath going all the way around this bit here, that'll be easier to get along. So just a case of getting this spot welded and tacked in now. So now I've started plug welding this in place. I've got a bit to do to finish it off, just for grinding it, filling any bits and tidying up. What I'm going to do at the moment is get this side spot welded in place, so that's that bit finalised. Before I do that, I need to set up the spot welder because it's the first time I've used it. What I've done is I've just cut 2 bits of scrap metal, put them together just to illustrate the thickness of the car, the 2 bits going on here. And that way I'm going to practice on these bits just to make sure it's right before I actually go ahead and do it on the car. I've used the vise just to simulate a clamp for these 2 bits here, and I'm just going to go ahead and spot weld along here just until I get what I think's the right welding depth. Right, so I've done a few different variations, different thickness sizes, different times, and you can see it's good penetration there. The one which is looking the best is this one here, which is set on about 0.8mm for each side. That's kind of the setting I'm going to try on, so I just need to try that basically on here now to see how it's going to take to this metal here, bearing in mind it's got some acid etch primer and everything on, so we'll just see how that goes. So I've managed to get the spot welder set up. That's sitting quite good. Just show you a couple of spot welds as I'm doing them. So you can see getting good penetration from the spot welds. Certainly a lot easier than plug welding, so it's just a case of going all the way along, finishing that off. So that's the spot welding done there. It'll take a bit of getting used to getting it set up for the right metal thickness, but that's the acid etch primer on as well, just to protect it on both sides. So the next thing I need to work on is obviously getting the rest of the floor a bit tidier, plug welded, sanded, and get that hole sprayed. So by the time it comes to the next video, hopefully this will all be finished and I'll be able to start moving on to another bit. And again, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.